It may sound blasphemous, I might sound demonic, but it's the truth. You and God, in fact, no, you are God. You are literally God. That realization. What most people will never realize about heaven and hell, what you need to realize about heaven and hell, is that they're not places, but states of consciousness. And these states of consciousnesses are the prerequisites to the materialization of your ideal. And if you hear any knocking, by the way, it's coming from outside, or my neighbor or something. My neighbor's banging. I don't even know what he's doing, bro. But anyway, heaven and hell are two states of consciousness. If you can't get your state of consciousness into a state of heaven, then you cannot manifest anything. So the first essential is for you to be aware of where heaven truly is. And where heaven truly is that is within you. Heaven resides within you, not without you. It's not a location anywhere outside of you. It's not in the sky, it's not in the ocean. Heaven is within you. It says in the Bible in Luke chapter 17 verse 21, the kingdom of heaven is within you, or the kingdom of God is within you. Don't let society fool you into thinking that it's a location in the sky, or it's a location in the sea, or whatever theories that they're cooking up. It clearly states in the Bible, Christ clearly states in the Bible that the kingdom of God is within you. So why would you be concerned about anything outside of yourself? You should be concerned about cultivating awareness of what's within yourself, not the outside. The outside has nothing to do with manifesting. It's all about within. Always bring your attention and your focus to within yourself, your awareness. So the real truth is that heaven isn't a place. It's an absolute awareness of the fact that you and God are one. That unification, that realization is the prerequisite for you to manifest as well. It's the awareness, the prerequisite awareness that you need to manifest. Once you come to this awareness, the separation between you and God obviously will cease to exist. And you being one, as a result of you realizing that you are one with God, you enter the state of calm, peace, and bliss. You enter the state of fulfillment, of not needing anything. And that is the key prerequisite to materialization of your ideal. This awareness brings to the realization too that you're connected with everything, because God is connected with everything. God is behind the materialization of anything you see physically. Therefore, everything you see, every person you see is God, or has an aspect of that God within them. The failure to recognize that connection is the state of hell. You misaligning yourself from your true nature is the state of hell. You being misaligned with God. And how usually what would be said about hell is that hell is separation from God. However, because God is within everything, that's not possible. God is everything, so that's not even possible. So it's merely just a misalignment. Misalignment is just ignorance of your true nature. So heaven is unification with the infinite, and hell is misalignment with the infinite, or God, or whatever you want to conceptualize God as. That lack of fulfillment, that desire, that neediness, that scarcity is as a result of you being misaligned with God, being in a state of hell. And as we know, the law of cause and effect, which states that for every effect that we see physically, there was once a cause. There was first a cause at the back of that effect. The effect will never precede the cause. It always has to be the cause first. So if you're in a state of heaven, if you're in a state of hell, if you're in a state of heaven, that cause will produce an effect of heaven outside of yourself. If you're in a state of hell, that cause will produce an effect of hell without you as well. So these are the keys to understanding why you're currently seeing like a hell on earth, essentially, or heaven on earth. This is an explanation for all of that. And don't be ignorant of the fact that it's not that it's about what you have, because it's not about what you have on you, it's about what you have in you. Even if you do have all the money in the world, even if you do have that person that you desire, or that job that you want, you could still be in a state of consciousness of hell, rendering whatever you have useless, in a sense. Hell is survival mode, because you're in the beta brainwaves, sorry. And I'll go into the brainwaves in a bit. But you can have all the money in the world, the girl or man, the job, but you're still in a survival state. Your awareness is still, you still have a low level of awareness, a low frequency. And a low level of awareness will always distort reality to reflect your nature, which would be negativity in this case that we're talking about now. And a low level of awareness is essentially just fixation on effects and not fixations on cause. It's basically a hyperfixation on the 3D realm. If you want to be in a state of heaven, you have to have a hyperfixation on what you're on your internal state, a hyperfixation on your on your connection with God, on the fact that you are one with God, that you are God. That realization is the fulfillment, not anything outside of you. What is outside of you doesn't fulfill you in any way, shape, or form. And that fixation on seeking fulfillment outside of yourself is what puts in motion for you to be is what puts you in this state of hell. And as a result, you attract more things to reflect that state that you're in. You receive more effects as a result of the cause. Now, to alter these states of consciousness, which, to quickly mention, is running in the back. You can have a conscious awareness, right? But these states of consciousness of heaven and hell are programs being run in your subconscious mind. And to change your states of consciousness, you have to be able to change your subconscious mind. Now, this is when we get into the brainwaves. There are brainwave states that are reflective of your subconscious mind being shut or open. And you being in hell, in a survival state, is when your subconscious mind is closed, that nothing can get in. And when your subconscious mind is open, that's when you're in a state of heaven. To be in heaven is to dwell in the state of the subconscious, the state where the subconscious mind is open more, is the most receptible, essentially. So beta brainwaves is representative of, you being aware, being alert and active, day to day. So whether it be at work or school or in the social settings, that's you in the beta brainwave state, which is the highest oscillating brainwave state. Then second to that is alpha waves, then theta, then delta. Alpha is when you're in a meditative, drowsy state. Theta is like a deep meditation or a trance-like state, which is typically associated with hypnosis. And then delta is when you're basically asleep. From beta to delta, the waves are slowing down, essentially. So beta being the highest rate and then delta being the lowest. So the slower the brainwave state, the closer that it is to the subconscious mind. Think about it like this. If there's a speedboat speeding across the ocean, right? and you're standing by the dock hoping to get onto that speedboat, but the speedboat can't stop. The faster the speedboat goes, the harder it will be to get onto that boat. But the slower the boat goes, the easier you can hop onto that boat. The same thing with, a boat can't even dock a harbor without the waters being calm. You need to be in a state where your waters are calm, where your waters are calm enough for your desires or your ideal to land in the subconscious, literally, to land where it needs to land. And it's possible to constantly be in either beta throughout your day-to-day, at least, or constantly be in theta, which would require you to relax more throughout the day. Practice mindfulness throughout the day. Get your mind to stop racing, because that's essentially what's happening here. You need to constantly make sure that you're relaxed, you're calm, collected. Obviously, mainly producing alpha or theta waves. And that is you being in a state of heaven. And that is where more successful attempts to alter your frequency can happen, when you're in that state of heaven. Because no man can receive anything unless it's given to him in heaven, which is said in John 3:27. No man can receive anything unless it's given to him in heaven, in that state of heaven, in those calm waters. So seek that state of heaven. Seek the state of heaven within. It says in the Bible too, seek the kingdom of God first, and all good things will be added unto you. Which is basically saying, seek the internal state of heaven, and then God will work to reflect all the righteousness and good that comes with it outside of you. I said in Matthew 6:33, that inner state of peace and calm, that's what you need to hyperfixate on. That's what you need to cultivate. Recognize that the end destination, which is the emotion, literally the emotions associated with heaven, is what you're seeking. But you're associating those emotions with physical objects. Once you take away the middleman, which is the objects, and go straight to the emotional states that are associated with heaven, then you've already got it. You don't even need the physical counterpart anymore. And that detachment from the physical counterpart is the prerequisite of your desires materializing. Not necessarily not caring, but not needing. Being in a state where you're good with it or good without it. Basically knowing that it is already done. And I feel, and what's really powerful, what a really powerful way to kind of cultivate that being, that kind of state of being good with or without it, is in the Kabbalah. I recommend you read a book called The Power of Kabbalah. Learn about your true nature. Learn about the state of heaven. Read the Kabbalah, the power of the Kabbalah, and it will teach you about your natural state of relaxation, your natural state of non-reactivity to external conditions, but the fact that life should be reacting to your internal state. Always keep that at the top of your mind. Always, even if you have to maybe watch this video over and over again throughout the day, in the morning as soon as you wake up, or read a book about this. Read the Kabbalah, read the Tao Te Ching, read the scriptures, the Bible, the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita. Read all these scriptures to keep your mind on top of these things. Or just any book on spiritual science to keep that realization going, snowballing to the point where you can't even ignore this realization of the fact that you and the infinite, you and God are one. You and God are literally, you're literally a physical manifestation of God. You are God incarnate. It may sound blasphemous, I might sound demonic, but it's the truth. You and God. In fact, no, you are God. You are literally God. That realization should be fulfillment enough. You literally don't need anything outside of yourself to prove anything to you. You are God. So make sure that you're, yeah. And make sure you've been taking notes as well, because this video is longer than usual. So and I hope I've covered a lot of ground with this topic. I'll try to make longer videos. Actually, no, I'm not promising you man anything, bro. I'm not promising anything. Like and subscribe if you've made it this far. I hope this made an impact on you, and I hope this will help you to change your life, and in turn kind of be a light in other people's lives too. Not that necessarily you have to give them this information or force any information upon anybody, but you just being is enough for someone. You just being who you are is enough. Honestly, you don't know how encouraging your presence can be to some people. Just your mental vibrations alone can help another person. Even if you have nothing to physically give the person, just send them good thoughts, send them harmonious thoughts. And remember to be grateful as well for where you are and shit like that. Yeah. So like and subscribe if you didn't subscribe. I hope this still made an impact on you. Yeah, in a bit, fam. Stay blessed and keep evolving. Yeah.